In this section, what we're going to do is we're going to recover fragmented files. So the first thing we need to do is we need to open up our Pro Discover. We're going to right click, run as administrator, and then we're going to create a new case, and then we're going to add the file, if you don't already have it on there, to our program. So it's add action, add, and then image file. Now I already have it open from the previous case, so we don't have to do anything else if you already have it open. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to cluster search results, and you're going to see that we had the 3 clusters previously before when we searched for the FIF file. Now if you did close it, let's go through that again. You're going to go to action, search, you're going to go to the cluster search, and you're going to go to ASCII, case sensitive, and you're going to type in FIF, and then you're going to click the image file, and you're going to click OK. And it's going to search for that, and it'll bring this up for you again. Okay, so now we're going to focus on AC4. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go, and we see that we have AC4. Now we're going to right click, and we're going to find the file. We're going to click yes. Now the second step for us to do is, again, we have to locate all and export all clusters of the fragmented file. So now we have that. We've located all of the clusters of the fragmented file. So let's copy to our clipboard, and let's click close. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to open up a notepad. Now I already have the notepad open, and I have copied and pasted already to an empty file. So we're going to look at the fragments. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to determine the starting and ending cluster numbers for each fragment. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up another notepad, and we're going to put these based on the first fragment. So we should have multiple fragments. So one fragment should begin with AC4, and let's see what it ends with. So also take a look at 2,756. So let's go 2,756, and let's see where the number drastically changes. Okay, so it changes with B20, which is 2,848. Okay, so that will be the first part of this fragment will be AC4 to B20, and then the next fragment range, of course, you'll begin with 1D6, and you're going to go down and find that it will go to 229. Same thing with fragment 3, and all the way down to range fragment 6. So we have 6 fragments on this for this image. Okay, so we need to take those fragments and we need to find them, and then we need to put them together so we can reproduce the picture. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, let's go to that, and let's go to our cluster view. So we're going to go to cluster view, images, and then we're going to click down to the image file. Now the first thing we're going to do is let's make it where we can see the bottom of this. Okay, so we don't need this at the bottom. Now remember what I told you when we talked about the cluster number. You will see the cluster number will come in handy, especially when you have to get to the right cluster value. So AC4 starts at 2,756. Let's type in AC4. The hex value for AC4. Let's locate that. Now we see AC4 is right here, okay, and you will verify that it's AC4. Now what we need to do, and let's put this to the side also, is we need to get this cluster and we need to drag it till we get all the way down to the B20. And once you get down there, you're going to take a right click, and it's going to have a select box, and you're going to click select. Okay, and you won't do anything else. The next thing you're going to do, let's go to the next one, the next fragment. You're going 1D6. Let's go 1D6. Let's undo that one. Let's go to 1D6 and find the 6. One D6, and let's go to that. It'll take you up. And then we're going to go down until we get to, what was that ending? Let's say 229 for it. Let's go back to that one. 229. So we'll end at 229. So that's our second fragment. So we're going to continue that until we get all the way down, until we get to the last fragment, until we have that. Okay? Now once you have all of that completed, you can always pause this video and complete it. And then once you've had that completed, you can continue with the video. And we're going to continue, and let's go to what we're going to do is we're going to go to Tools, and we're going to go to Copy Evidence of Interest, and then copy all selected clusters. Now we want to put it as recover all clusters to a single file. Now what I've done before, I did a very kind of a crazy thing, which I had recovered all the clusters to individual files. So I had a lot of individual files on my desktop, and so that was very inconvenient and difficult to get off. So definitely we're going to recover all this to a single file, and make sure you have your folder ready on the desktop. And in case you make that same mistake I did, you'll have all of those files in that folder, and you can always delete that folder. Okay, so recover all clusters to a single file, and then we're going to recover the binary. And now what we're going to do is we're going to browse. So I had put it in a new folder. So let's make a new folder. We're going to call it JPEG carved. Put JPEG fragmented. Okay, and we're going to put that. And then we're going to make sure we have it, recover all clusters to a single file, and then we're going to click OK. So what you should have is you should have that inside of your folder. Okay, I have one of those JPEG recovered files. So I did have it previously, so I'm just going to go to this folder that I already have. So it should put your folder on there and should have it all go to that folder. Okay, so once you have that, you're going to go to here, and you see that we have a text file. It says text. So let's change that. Instead of a text file, let's change rename it to a JPEG. And then we'll change the file extension. Now you still can't open it, because what happened before, again, the file appears to be corrupted, because of course we said that we're going to have to recover the file header. So the next step we're going to have to do, we copy these fragmented group of clusters into their correct sequence, the recovery file, and now we need to rebuild the corrupted file's header to make it readable in the graphics viewer. So let's right click and run as administrator for the Hex workshop. Now we're going to continue, and then we're going to click open, and we're going to put the recovered JPEG, and then we're going to click. Now again, we need to change the file header. Now again, make sure we are changing that file header, and if you know what the file header name, what the hex value is, or if you don't know the hex value, definitely always go to and check other file headers that are that have the same file name, or the same extension. Okay, so let's go to and let's change the JPEG file. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, if we're going to change that first letter, the first letters, we're going to change it to, and I always have a reference, because sometimes you forget file headers and you don't have to memorize them all the time. So definitely have something next to you so that you can find out the right file header. Okay, and we changed that, and let's save it. Save as, and we save as JPEG, and click yes. Okay, and you see that we have recovered that file. So we recovered a fragmented file, and before we recovered a file that had a bad header. So, and this takes care of this section.